Most creators are posting nonstop, but are still seeing inconsistent sales. Views spike, but leads don't. I'm joined by Nate Palmer, a veteran content creator since 2010. He hosts a podcast called Get Leaner and Live Longer, which just surpassed 1.5 million downloads. He's done it all. He's sold fitness coaching programs and built recurring revenue with his mobile app. And he's built his business all around this very simple content strategy that actually drives buying behavior. In this conversation, you'll discover the one format that Nate utilizes that reliably converts followers to clients, how to pick topics that solve micro problems that your buyers are feeling today, and the 60-second short form content structure that moves people to book a call or buy. So Nate, you found that finding micro problems and making Instagram reels around those micro problems converted most into sales. So can you explain what a micro problem is and why that is so effective in getting you sales?
Yeah, I think a micro problem is kind of like a problem within a problem, right? So if I sell someone fitness coaching, let's say, and now they're drinking a bunch more water than they've ever been drinking, like what is the problem that's going to result from that? They're going to need to pee a lot more. And like, that sounds like silly, right? But like, that's a problem that everybody deals with. They go from drinking 1 glass of water to drinking 1 gallon of water. And so I got people who are like, bro, I'm waking up twice at night to go pee. What's this? Like, I can't do that anymore. And I go, listen, here's the solution. You got to get a packet of electrolytes, and then every single sip of water you have after 6 p.m. must have electrolytes in it. It's going to keep you from peeing at night. And they're like, oh my God, I never knew that. So like solving little tiny problems, it seemed like it gives so much more interaction and engagement because it seems like you're meeting people where they're at. And and all of a sudden you got people being like, I did that too. Oh my God, I've been dealing with that for a long time. You know, so like people like, so you start creating conversations, you have like a sense more of community, but you're like, oh, he gets me. He understands my issues. So I think that is like, if you can sit down and identify what are the problems that your clients deal with right now, and what are the problems that by working with you, you are going to create for them, because there's no such thing as no trade-off, right? You're always going to have some other situation or problem or hardship that you're going through as a result of being a part of something new or doing something different or aspiring for more. So if you can address those and you can say like, hey, listen, I know what that's like. I have been there personally, and here's how I resolve that. People are like, this is my guy.
Mm-hmm. I like that. You're talking your audience's language. And that goes back to what a lot of other creators talk about in terms of niching down, because if you don't have a particular avatar that you're talking to, then you're not going to be able to find those micro problems, because you're just going to be everywhere with it. You might solve one person or two people's problems that watch your content, but if you're niche down and you find those micro problems and then you sell them the solution and be like, hey, the solution is X, Y, and Z, book a call. And then you convert them. So I want to ask, so once you make the Instagram reel, you post it with the solution, how does the conversion side work? Do you like tell them to DM you? Do you tell them comment something and then you use mini chat? Like, what's the conversion strategy?
So when I was doing the most conversions from content, it'd be something like, hey, like if you're dealing with low testosterone, let's say, like here are the 6 things you need to do. And then I'll be like, boom, 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 boom. Drop a comment that says sunlight if you want my full cheat sheet for testosterone. So it was always some sort of conversation. I was always had a very small CTA, and like I used ManyChat for a little bit and it seemed to work okay, but I never really got the integrations right. And I always felt like, oh, they're talking to a robot. So like when I would personally respond and be like, yo, what's up? Thanks for liking the thing. Like, what's your email address? I'll drop it to you. That always resulted in higher rates of response for me. And so I felt like I was able to have more conversations, which inevitably could lead to, like, from my perspective, cool, I'm going to send that over to you right now. By the way, what are you working on right now? Are you trying to get lean or are you trying to gain some size? And then people always say, I'm trying to get lean. Don't want to get too big. Nobody ever wants to get too big. I've been trying to get too big for like 2 decades. It's not working. But like, then you have that conversation. You're like, cool. What's been the hardest part about it? They're like, I can't stay consistent. You're like, hey, I got a couple of questions for you. And you probably have some questions for me as well, but do you want to get on jump on a quick call and hear what's working for some of my clients who are in the same situation? Then you just get into that sales conversation. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, creating something that is hitting that micro problem, offering an additional solution. That's not like, here's how to lose all your weight or get rid of your belly fat, but it's like, here's how to fix your testosterone. Here's how to amplify your morning routine. Here's how to detox from sugar, whatever that looks like. And then following that up with, how's it going, man? Like, what are you up to? How can I help? Mm-hmm. And just being a human being that's of service. I think that's That's where I got my best results from.
Absolutely. So I got two things I want to touch on. The first thing that you said that was very interesting, but unsurprising, is that you said that the many chat didn't convert nearly as much as when you responded. I think nowadays, like, people are hip to many chat and the comment size or whatever, and then I'll send it to you. They know it's a robot, and I know it too. So like whenever people send it to me, sometimes I'll click, sometimes like, so I like that in this new AI age that people are still more receptive towards like actual people than just automation. And then the
Yeah.
second thing is that it sounds like you had like a lead magnet or something to send them
Mhm.
uh on top of the not just booking a call. It's like, hey, like I have this something, like you can book a call if you want, but if you just want to, basically do it yourself, like here's this lead magnet. I like that. I like that.
Yeah. I counted them up the other day, how many lead magnets I have. So I've been doing this since like 2009.
Hmm.
Started creating lead magnets in like 2012. I counted them up. I have 131 different lead magnets.
You said 101. Oh my god.
131.
Or
I
31.
have so many lead magnets,
That's so crazy. What are the
and almost all of them are horrible.
really?
Yeah.
Why do you say that? Like, what? I was gonna just about to ask what has been your best lead magnet or the one
Oh,
that had.
I'll tell you.
Go ahead.
But the like all of them, because I'm stupid. I would just try to make, like, pointing at a gigantic problem. Here's how to get fit. Here's how to lose the first 25 pounds. Here's how to get your abs. Like, and like, I don't know if you remember, but like the first like ebook that really sold a lot of copies, that kind of spurred this whole ebook thing, was called The Truth About Abs. Do you remember this?
No, I'm not
This
familiar. I'm
must have
not
been
too big of a fitness guru.
this is 2009. This came out, and
Oh,
it was like a 111 page document or something like that you'd print out from your computer. And it was just an ebook, and people were like printing it and binding it, and it cost $80. And that dude became like a bajillionaire, from having like, a funnel to purchase this ebook, The Truth About Abs.
mm,
And so I was trying to do all my lead magnets kind of in the same way, like the truth about this whole subject. Here's how to sleep better, And in reality, people need to pay for solutions that are that big. So when I started doing small micro problems and micro solutions, this
mhm.
has been my best converting lead magnet by far. It's called the 5-Day Sugar Detox. It
Okay.
used to be like 6 pages. It's like 23 now. Keep
Okay.
adding stuff to it. But it's a small thing. It's a 5-day thing. Anybody can do this. The first day, Myles, is you got to wake up in the morning. You got to drink water with lemon and apple cider vinegar in it. That's all you got to do all day for sugar detox. And then not eat Snickers would be good too. But like, so when people see something that is like palatable, it's a definitive time frame on it, they can start unpacking it. Because even when I'm like, here are my top 3 bicep exercises, sometimes people will download it and will never ever look at it. Like,
Yeah.
it's more than 50% of people who don't ever open a lead magnet. So if you got to have something that's super compelling, and then be like, hey, I want you to start right now, open that up, go look at page 3. I want you to buy these 3 things at the grocery store so you're ready for tomorrow. So if you can get them taking action and building momentum, like, that's key. And so it has to be actionable, and it has to solve a specific problem that they know they have. Like, so they're problem aware. They might not be solution aware, but they're problem aware, and they're like looking for a fix for this pain point.
I like that. Making sure that people are taking action, because at the end of the day, people want a result, but they have to take some action for the result. And honestly, the easier you make that action to get them the result, the more money they're going to pay you, honestly. And so what I want to also touch on is, what is your, so once you make the micro problem content, post it, people are in, you are conversing in the DMs. What is your nurture strategy like in the DMs? Because I'm sure everybody doesn't always book a call, or everybody doesn't always open up the lead magnet. What does your nurture sequence look like?
Yeah, I mean, it's mostly just like a bunch of questions where I'm trying to figure out what their situation is and if I can help them.
Hmm.
My goal, first and foremost, is not to sell coaching. My goal is to be a human being that delivers service and value to other human beings. I want to help fix America's obesity epidemic. And I can't do that by selling coaching to every single person in America.
Yeah.
So what can I do? I've got books, I've got resources, I've got hundreds of podcast episodes, I've got thousands of videos, I've got like resources coming out of my ass. Like, so if someone's like, I have a problem with this, chances are I've got a podcast talking about it, or I know someone who does. So like, I'm always like asking them like, hey, do you want to like, are you trying to get big? Or are you trying to get lean? Cool. What's been the hardest part about that? Cool. And what have you tried so far? Okay, cool. I got a couple of thoughts for you. Do you want to jump on a quick call? And they're like, yeah, that's a great, like, that's a perfect situation, right? It doesn't usually go like that. Sometimes they're like, not right now, or I can't right now, or they just ghost. And then, so sometimes I'll just come back to them and be like, yo, I was just thinking about you. Just want to check in and see how things were going. They're like, well, it's not good. I'm like, oh, really? It's crazy.
Yeah. You didn't take action in your same spot. Wow.
So weird. How'd that happen? I guess we'll never know. I'd be like, well, what are you working on right now? Is there anything that you're looking to figure out how I can like, and just try to figure out like, what's a pain point where I could, again, just deliver some value, because like the number keeps changing. Everybody used to say like, someone's got to spend 7 minutes looking at your content. Now it's like 47 minutes or 3 hours. I don't even know.
Yeah.
But I know that the more time people consume my shit, the more often they're going to transact with me. And so I have come to a solution to that problem by just having so much stuff, thousands of posts on Instagram, thousands of videos on YouTube, like decades of posts on Facebook, podcasts, all of the stuff. If you like, wherever you are, I also am there. So just by trying to be like top of mind and omnipresent, like that's like, so just like, no matter how you want to consume content, through video, through audio, in your car, I got an audio book. I got 2 books on Amazon. Like, I don't know. You want me to read you a children's story? I could probably do that for you. It doesn't matter. I'll do whatever.
Man, you gotta start your own AI, your own GPT, man. You have so much content out there. It will be real valuable.
It'd be fun to have. I feel like it'd be nice to like, if I could install that in my coaching software, people get like an automatic answer where I'm like, listen, bitch.
Oh man. So in terms of the actual CTA and the micro content, what has been the best converting CTA? Is it like link in bio or DM me this or comment that? Like, what's been the best
Comment?
If this breakdown is clicking for you, please make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next strategy. Thank you so much for your support. Now back to the show.
Comment. Yeah. Just like, what's the lowest hanging fruit? And like, honestly, the one that's like, comment an emoji, comment your favorite GIF. Word, like then it's like, so it's like that, and then it's like comment a word, then it's like way farther down is like send a DM, and then like bottom of the fucking barrel is link in bio.
Yeah, it's so crazy because Kev was just talking about how link in bio is probably one of the worst CTAs. So I got to get better in that on that, because I haven't done too many CTAs in my content. I'm at the point where I just want people to listen and watch. Like that's all I could really ask for at this point. Eventually, like obviously I want people to take action, but good to know that to hear from multiple creators, pretty much the same thing, that link in bio is trash.
Dead. Yeah. So like, if you want people to listen and watch stuff, like I also think that like, okay, let's say you got a podcast recording about how to create 10 videos in 1 hour or something like that. So then your next piece of content is like, here's why quantity is more important than quality in 2025, right? So you have this, so there's probably like, you think you need quality videos. You think you need Alex Hormozy, quick cuts, sound effects, crazy text on your screen. You don't need that. And here's why the Instagram algorithm is actually prioritizing this. Now, the problem that a lot of people run into is that they just don't have enough time to create this content. Yeah. If you want to check out my specific guide to how you can create more content in less time that's high quality and converts, just click this link. And I'll send it to you, or comment below and I'll send it to you, whatever. But you create the open loop where the other piece of content or the lead magnet or whatever solves the problem that you just created. Right. I was thinking about like, how do I open more loops? How do I get people more curious? Like one of my best performing emails, subject lines was like operation, like kitchen bandit, EST, like a police file name or something like that. Okay. It was just crazy. I was just talking about how my daughter snuck in out of her room to eat cookies in the kitchen. But like, I just made like the subject line really, really, intriguing and strange. So people, like, I got like an 80% open rate and I delivered to like 3,900 people. Oh, wow. And I never get that. I get like, I do decent. I do 55 ish, but like, I've never seen 80 anything. Mm-hmm. So I'm still chasing that high.
How long ago was that?
Like 4 or 5 months.
4 or 5. Oh, that's relatively recent. Okay.
Yeah. Another good one for me was Snoop Doggy Dogg. That was a good subject line. It had nothing to do with email. I just want to see if people
Just,
click.
yeah, I'm gonna have to get on that. And I was literally just talking to one of my fraternity brothers who was literally my last guest, who I posted an episode today about growing my email list and like doing certain collabs with him and like other people that got email lists, because my email list, I only got like 20 people on it, which I mean I can't complain because I don't really use it all that often. But I've found that, from Kev's program, I was watching Jay Klaus yesterday, and he was like posting some of the results from his mastermind, and he's been literally by far like everybody said that email was just like top of the top in terms of like getting people to convert and stuff. So
Yeah,
uh,
that's the best probably for me. I wouldn't consider that social media or really even content.
mm-hmm,
Like I feel like I'm just sending out messages to people, really just trying to be helpful. And
mm-hmm,
most of the time, like me being helpful also results in me be like, I got this great program. If you want it, here it is. I
mm-hmm,
got these great supplements. You want to get some magnesium? You want some creatine? I got that for you.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
that's what.
nobody labs.
And the thing about like the email and the micro content that we were talking about earlier is that at the end of the day, the bottom line is you got to provide value, and the audience is going to want it. If you do that, like bar none, because I think a lot of creators, they want that one magic pill or that one tactic to just go viral. But at the end of the day, bro, just give people valuable shit that they actually want to hear. That's it. That's why I'm glad I did Kev's program to rebrand my show to be more gated more towards creators, more towards business owners who are trying to make money through content, so that way my content could be more valuable in to at least those people. It's not some people who are watching my shows who probably aren't business owners or aren't making content. This is probably isn't valuable anymore, to or as valuable to them any as often. But now I'm even more valuable to a smaller segment of the market, and I know that it's gonna in the long run it's gonna be profitable once I start to really be like, okay, let's try to monetize this now.
Totally. And one of
Hmm.
my like soapboxes that I like to stand on is content creators or people who feel like they're entitled to views and likes.
Hmm.
And they're like, this is good content. I don't know what people are thinking. The algorithm's suppressing me. No, like your content isn't that good. Sorry. Like, so I do stand up, and a lot of times these comics will be like, they'll get on stage and they'll be like, oh, come on, that was funny. Or like, you can laugh at that. I'm like, bro, if it was funny, they
I
would
would
have
have laughed.
laughed. That's how it works. Like,
Yeah.
it's not an audience problem. It's a you problem. And you can either take that as constructive criticism, or you can let your ego get in the way and be like, these guys don't know the good from the bad. You're like, well, you are not producing the good. I'll tell you that much right now.
Hmm.
Nothing worse than a comedian being like, come on, guys, that was funny. It wasn't. It really
Hmm.
wasn't. Did you hear the
Yeah,
crickets? Not funny.
absolutely. I was watching this piece of content, and this person said to replace the word algorithm with audience, right? Because everybody wants to like blame the algorithm and all this other stuff, and it's like, nah, like you need to create content for an audience, and it's your job to pull the audience in. It's not YouTube or Instagram or whoever's job to push your content. So that's something, that's a little nugget that has always stuck with me. And
Plus, if it's
so
your fault, then you can fix it.
oh yeah, absolutely.
It's that internal
Thank
locus of
you.
control versus external. If you always
Hmm.
blame everyone else for your problems, if it's the traffic's fault you're late, you like, what incentive do you have to be on time? I
Hmm.
don't know. It just
Exactly.
happened to me. No, I impact the world. I don't like it, not the other way around.
Absolutely. So when you're brainstorming, let's say a week of Instagram Reels for um, your micro content, can you walk me through the process that you do in terms of brainstorming, planning, implementation, like the whole nine yard?
Nope. I have not been planning at all recently. I am
Really?
like, especially in the last like 2 months, I've been real. I've just been kind of in my head about like content. I'm trying to figure out kind of what my strategy looks like going forward. So like, and I've done all the things. I've like sat down and I've planned all my stuff out. I filmed all in advance. I've like scheduled all my reels. I've done themed weeks where I did like, it was my podcast would kick it off on Monday, and then I'd go through the micro problems of the podcast, and then I do a
Hmm.
carousel on Tuesdays and Fridays, and like recaps and stuff like that. And so I would have this whole like thematic week, and that didn't seem to like really move the needle for me. And then I would do stuff where I would be like, all right, we're gonna do like, like like FAQ Wednesday and myth busting Fridays and like having like themed days and plan my weeks out like that. And I didn't have a lot of fun doing that. And it also didn't seem like it made a big difference in terms of like, oh, people are expecting to see this on this day. So I don't plan anything right now. Like today I was like, I got to post a reel, and I was like, I'm going to film a reel. And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm going to post an old video of myself. And so I did that. And then yesterday I was like, I should post something. It was like 8 PM and I posted a picture of me camping. I don't know.
You're just leaving a win. Whatever you feel like posting, you're just going to post.
Yeah. And this is not a good strategy. And I'm not recommending this for people who want to make money with their content or get more clients. I'm just a little bit burnt out right now. I'll be real honest with you.
It's all good. This content grind it's no joke. Like there's a reason why a lot of podcasters don't get past like episode 3, and even less of them get past episode 20, let alone even 100, because it's really a grind. It's really a grind. You have to show up every single week, provide value. And I don't personally do seasons. I don't know why people do seasons. Like I'm gonna podcast for, 3 months, 4 months, and then take another 6 months to plan the next season. To me, that's fucking stupid. So for me, I'm actually about to go to the West Coast to go see my family. So during those 5 weeks, typically I like to just spend time with my family, and I don't want to have to think about content, especially because I'm not going to have all the equipment that I have now. So over the next 2 weeks, I'm like, all right, I got to film like 7 weeks of content within the next 2 weeks, like pre-call, record, and it's a grind. And so that's another key component of if you're trying to make consistent money with your content and get more clients, like you have to like continue to show up week after week, day after day, because at the end of the day, people get bored. People get bored, and you don't want them to move on from your content. So
right. Why do you do a pre-call?
Why do I do a pre-call? So for probably the first year, I never did a pre-call, but once I started, shout out Kev and his program. He never insisted on doing this, but it just is a lot easier for me to pinpoint like a direction that I want to take the actual episode, as opposed to just being everywhere, and it's just significantly easier. Plus, it's just another touch point, another point for me to build rapport with my guests. That's the main reason why I do it.
It's also another thing for you to do, and it's also another friction point for your guests.
Yeah, so that is true.
I'm curious about that.
Yeah, someone literally just emailed me back and said that, hey, I'm down to come on the pod, but we don't need to do a pre-call, which I'm not gonna force anybody to, especially like I think for people that don't make content, it's imperative. But if you make a whole lot of content where I could just like, okay, you went on this podcast, you got this website, you got this Instagram, I could be fine. But it's mainly for the people that don't. So
I have a lot of questions in my podcast booking link. So I go like, what are 2 or 3 important aspects of who you are and what you do that make it very important? My audience hears your message. Anything you'd like to promote or give away for my audience? Social media links. What's the theme of this episode going to be in your mind? What would you title it? That's my favorite question. And then I give like a couple permission questions. And I feel like based off of those 3 questions, I can get a ton of information. So I feel like I can feed that, like I can take those and I can write out a couple questions ahead of time. So I feel like I know what I'm getting into. Plus, most of the people that come on my show have some media kit or bio or website or something that I can take a peek at. So I feel like I always show up kind of knowing a bit about them or what direction I want to go. But I have them help me out as much as I can by getting those questions filled in.
Yeah, I'll probably have to.
Someone told me the other day, they're like, I'm not going to do these questions. And I was like, okay, then don't do the podcast. That's weird. Whatever.
I mean, there are some people that literally just come on podcasts just to talk whatever shit they want to talk and then leave. I've had that experience.
Just fine. But like, if you want to like,
just,
it costs me money to record this. It costs me time to record it. It costs me money to edit it. This is a labor of love. No one's like holding a gun in my head, making me do a podcast. Like I do this for fun. And because it's like, it's good for content. It's good for, meeting people and stuff like that. But if you're going to be a dick about it, you don't need to come on my show.
Absolutely not.
I'm trying to interview a dickhead.
So for somebody that has limited resources and had to start from scratch, and was trying to get their first coaching client with their content, what advice would you give them?
Just be helpful. Like, be helpful. I would say write down like the 50 biggest problems that your ideal client has, and then like the 50 micro problems inside of those. So like for each problem they have, there's probably 3 to 5 littler problems that they're dealing with on that. I feel like I wrote out a giant list of these when I was starting off like a new program for like a lower ticket. Wrote out like a huge list of micro problems that you can use for content, and then create resources around it. So like, let's say you're trying to help people sleep better, like, so if you want my whole guide to like the step-by-step bedtime protocol that guarantees you're going to get 8 hours of sleep, even if you only sleep 6 hours, drop the word sleep below. Here are the 3 things, but like the content is 3 supplements you need to take before bed, 3 ways that you can get off devices before you go to sleep. Here are the 2 things you need to worry about in the 30 minutes before you get in your bed. Things like that are solving those little tiny problems. Hey, but if you want my complete guide to getting restorative sleep, drop this link below, start the conversation, and build off the conversation. You like, people think that they need 1 million views to get clients. You need 1 view. You just need the 1 person to see your stuff and be like, yeah, I'm at, like that's for me.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Because you're starting off by being helpful, making content from the problems and the micro problems. So if each problem has at least 2 micro problems, you make a list of like 50 of them. That's already 100 pieces of content that you could then go batch record and then put out. And then while you're scheduling those out, you're in the back end making those lead magnets. And like you said, you don't need 1 million followers to make money. You just need the right, whoever your avatar is, whether you're in fitness, whether for me, you're in content creation or whatever, to see the content and then be like, oh shit, this piece of content was useful. Oh shit, his lead magnet was useful. Oh, and he has a coaching program. So they're going to automatically assume that, oh shit, if I sign up for the coaching program, then it's got to be the shit because his content and his lead magnet was good. So
is already delivering more value than whatever the other guy's paid program is.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
Exactly.
okay, I pulled this document up, but basically like, let's say your problem is working out, right? The micro, like the content is not how do you work out better or how do you do better exercises or how do you get to the gym. The content becomes, how do you feel more confident in the gym? The best workout you can do in 20 minutes, the best exercises to change how your arms look, the best way to get results in under 15 minutes per day. How much rest do you need between sets? The mindset you need for each exercise. How do you know how much weight to use? How do you know how hard to push each exercise? How to pick exercises that won't hurt your low back? How to make workouts less boring? What to do in between sets at the gym? Should you stretch before or after your workout? Should you do cardio before or after your workout? Like, so the content is not the workout. The content is all those little problems and questions people have and will Google and feel like lack of confidence around that you just solved for them. Mm-hmm. I get the question, how much weight should I use, all the time? And I keep telling people I keep telling them the same answer. So then I just created some content. And now every time they have that question, I just send them that reel or that YouTube video.
Mm-hmm. Like that. And so in terms of your content, can you describe your current sales funnel and how your content supports it?
No. And I'm honestly like a little embarrassed, like coming on this show and talking about this because I don't really have currently like a content funnel.
Okay.
Because I'm just kind of drifting away from online coaching a little bit. So I'm not putting as much emphasis on like going out and getting new clients. So I'm not putting out lead magnet content. I'm not putting CTAs. I'm doing really short little captions that I just like that don't tell people what to do next. I'm doing stuff that's fun for me and I'm having a good time with. I'm posting a lot more pictures that are static rather than like problem and solution videos. So I don't really have a good answer for that right now. Currently, my funnel is ads to like a program and a supplement combination bundle at a low ticket. So it's a subscription model where it's like you're getting supplements every single month, but I also have your training dialed. I also have your nutrition dialed. So it's a tremendous value. It kind of sells itself. So if people are clicking on the ad, I'm getting like a 1.5% conversion rate. So now all I need is, 150 clicks to get, no, I guess more than that, to get like 2 clients. So it's slow sledding, but the more money I put into it, the more clients I get in that model. And that's paid ads. So, then you're talking about actually putting your stuff in front of people forcibly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for that, I'm using static images too.
Yeah, I've actually seen a lot of people utilizing static images like carousels and stuff. Like I've seen that those are starting to come back. I remember like when Instagram first started, that was pretty much all you could use was pictures. And then
Right.
they integrated carousels and then they did reels. Reels was like popping for like 2021 to like now-ish. And now I've seen a lot of the top podcasters starting to use carousels and shit to like tell stories.
Yeah. So they're taking pictures of their podcast and they're putting not captions, but like little text at the bottom, and you swipe through it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
but people hate podcast reels. My podcast reels do the worst out of anything that I do.
Why
It's
do you
crazy.
think that is?
Just because it's so overdone. If they see someone like, if they see just a white dude with a mic, they know they're about to get sold some t-shirts. You know what I mean? Like
sold some t-shirts.
I'm about to tell you about my favorite brand of oat milk. Like that's just, people are just, it's the same thing with mini chat. Just you get desensitized to it. You're like, ugh, I don't want to hear about Nirvana again. Like just fucking swipe. So I think that and maybe it's just because my content's shitty. That could be. But like, I just feel like my podcast reels, even when I'm like putting a lot of effort into them and really trying to cut up those like really hot pieces or places where like the amplitude of the sound goes up because someone's really lit, I'm not getting very much out of it. So I don't even really post. I'm doing a ton of like content like off of my podcast, and I'm just not even posting it.
Why is that? You just like,
I'm a bad business owner, Myles. No, just can't be bothered.
You've been doing it for so long. You probably just kind of you made all the money that you made, and you're cool with what you got, and just trying to build the app.
It's like I don't feel like I'm a good role model in this current iteration of myself, and I might come out of it in like a month, but I'm just feeling so negative about the whole thing right now that it's hard for me to like get out of my own head and like post. Like I want to post content that I want to post, and that's fun for me. And I just haven't had fun posting in a while. So I'm like trying to figure out what that is before I like go back to like a content strategy. I just want to like, if it's not fun, I don't want to do it.
Nah, I feel that 100%. And I had a friend, she was telling me, like she was just asking me like, Myles, like, do you do, because she knows about the podcast, the business, all this shit. And she was like, Myles, what do you like to do for fun? And I was like, I podcast. She was like, no, that doesn't count. Exactly. What's that? And so what I decided to do is I created a whole brand new podcast and I already recorded the first episode. I'm literally just trying to make the page and whatnot, but I made a new podcast where it's like just me and my friends just talking about whatever, just life. And it's just the point of it, at least for now, is for it to just be almost like you're just watching people have a conversation. Like it's filmed on my iPhone, one camera. I'm barely editing the audio. There's no cuts. There's nothing. Like and it's just fun. And it's just fun as opposed to, not saying that I don't enjoy doing what I'm doing now, but as opposed to like, okay, let me get on this pre-call and then let me do my research. And then now let me set aside some time. And then now I got to like fix the lights and all this other shit. Mm-hmm. And then now let me tell my editors and stuff. Like, it's like, nah, I'm just going to film it on my iPhone. Okay, it's done. Upload to YouTube. It's done. So
yeah, and you get some gems out of recording like that too.
Absolutely. Riverside found a whole bunch of moments and stuff that I'm working on getting cut up. So I look forward to dropping that podcast. I actually already made the page. So that's something like that. I think we touched on it earlier. Like you have to just enjoy it, right? Like you can't brute force like, okay, let me be a successful content creator and wake up every single day and hate it. You're gonna quit eventually. You're gonna quit. Especially with podcasting, because you're gonna go. I don't know how. One day I'm going to go back and tally up how much money I've spent over the last like year and a half on conferences, editing, all that. Like I know for a fact I spent 10K my first month just getting everything because I wanted to make sure my production quality was just at the top. I wanted people to see Beyond Ordinary Podcast and be like, oh yeah, like he takes his content serious, not just not no bullshit. And so I'm not gonna spend 10K on something if I don't really want to do it, you know. So
Facts.
yeah. One of the final things I
I
want
feel
to
like
talk
I've
to you.
derailed this podcast with my bad attitude.
No, you're good, bro.
I
You're good.
I make no apologies.
You're just look. Being authentically yourself is what gets people listening. But I want to talk to you about your podcast, man. You mainly what you called you just crossed like 1.5 million downloads. I wanted to ask you what so I like there's a point where it's, you know, sometimes your podcast plateaus. Mine's kind of hitting that point a little bit where it kind of plateaus and then you go and it starts spiking. So like what change did you make to get your podcast to finally like get that breakthrough?
When I was seeing my biggest numbers, I was doing all the right things. So we're at 1,585,404 downloads all time. I was advertising on podcast player apps. I was spending money on that. Every time I had a podcast come out, I would send an email to the guest with like, here's my YouTube, here's my Spotify, here's my Apple Podcast link. I would write an email for the guest to send to their list. I would send the guest 3 clipped up parts of the podcast episode. I would post them personally and I would ask to collaborate with them. I would share a bunch of shit and then I would do a carousel about it. And then I would send out an email to my list. And then I was doing, I was doing kind of like the thematic weeks, like I was describing earlier. So all my stuff was kind of pointing back to like, if you want more, listen to the podcast, listen to the podcast, listen to the podcast. So I was really pushing it to a lot of my people. And then I was also getting a lot of new people looking at it because of the ads on the player apps. Mm-hmm. So that was when I was getting my biggest spike, which was like, I started blowing up like May 22 and then peaked October 23 and kind of been on the decline since then.
Oh wow. Like you was really pushing to the max between ads, between all that stuff.
Yeah. A lot of promotion, a lot of like list building, just in like, cause I felt like at the time I was like, the podcast is kind of the solution. That's where I'm gonna get all my clients from. That didn't end up being the case, even with that many downloads. But so I kind of have like, I like to throw a lot of shit at stuff until I can see if it works or not. And then if I pull away and nothing changes, then I kind of just keep like, I'll keep my foot off the gas until I find the thing that is working.
Yeah.
Right now it seems like fairly low energy and decent results to be running ads on Facebook to my low ticket programs. So I'm just going to keep doing that until that doesn't work. And then I'll do something a little bit different. Like it used to be a little bit more like reels to lead magnets was my like low hanging fruit that like led to more conversations, more coaching. And I've kind of like that didn't stop working. I kind of stopped working.
Yeah.
Truthfully. So
all good. Well, Nate, this has been a great pod. Thank you so much for coming on the show, man. Before we close out, is there anything you want to leave the audience with today?
Yeah. So my personal philosophy is, I'm wearing the hat right now. Get 1% better every day. And I think that like, you talked about dropping 10K on your podcast studio and having all the like the equipment and things like that. I think that that keeps a lot of people stuck is I think perfection is the enemy of good for most of us. So when it comes to content creation, when it comes to starting a podcast, when it comes to building anything, just fucking do it. Just go do it right now. And guess what? It's going to suck. Your first 10 episodes of your podcast, no one's going to like them. Period. Sorry. Like that's not how it works. You don't even know what's a good podcast episode till you're like 25 or 30 deep, but you can't get to 30 unless you pass 15 first. So most of the time, just get started with something and then just focus in on getting 1% better every day. It's that ready, fire, aim mentality where you just go do the thing and then just add to it. Like I said, I've got 131 lead magnets. I got a book that started off as like 5 pages and now is like 13. Everything that I do, I'm just consistently like trying to iterate, add to it. I go back to old reels that performed well and make them a little bit better. I try to like take different topics that I see people that I like or interesting pieces and then add to them and make them a little bit better. So it's always about this constant process of like iterating and reinventing and recreating and like building upon yourself rather than trying to go and just like knock it out of the park first time. If you can just hit a bunch of singles in your business career and your content creation career, you're going to be so much more successful than the person who tries to go for the home run and stay stuck because they don't have a headshot that looks good enough for them or they don't know their branding colors. That shit's superfluous. Just do the thing and then get better as you go.
Wow. I couldn't have said that any better myself. I literally had 2 people on the show. I started doing this consulting style show. I literally just dropped the first episode today. And my fraternity brother is a photographer. And I was trying to show him how I'm like, bro, this is what I would do if I was you with your content, da da da. And, you know, because he's a photographer, he wants to get the perfect shot and all this other shit. And I had another conversation with my fraternity brothers. He was talking about his content and how he wants it to be perfect. But like, that's why whenever like I really think about it, like even though podcasting is an art, I never once considered myself an artist because of the mentality that you just said. Like I am very much, I'm going to post this. Sometimes I begrudgingly post it because I really don't want to. But at the end of the day, that you're never gonna get better if you don't publish and you don't post.
Yeah.
It. Never.
And the thing is, people think people are watching their content and judging them. If they don't like your content, they're not going to watch it.
Yeah.
Like you don't have haters, just post it. And people let people like tell you if it sucks or not. You don't get to decide for them. And like, no one is looking at it being like, this guy's so like, they're just like, next. Like that's how they don't like it.
Yeah.
It's not like an active hating thing, you know? So people are always like, this one's to my haters. It's like, who's your hater? Kobe from 7th grade? Your nemesis from science class? Get out of here with that. Haters. You fucking break.
Absolutely.
Anyways, thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Of course. Hey, Nate, where can the people find you at?
Find me on Instagram at _million-dollar-body. If you want to see me post occasional stand-up clips and pictures of me doing random vacations. And then go to $1 Million Body Labs if you want to grab some high quality supplementation from a guy who's got a bad attitude.
Well, we're going to leave all that in the show notes. Great episode today. Hope you guys learned something today, how to get those clients on Instagram. Till next time, peace. If you got just one good idea from this episode, please consider subscribing so you don't miss the next one. And if you liked all the insights from this episode and looking for more, click on the video on your screen right now.